Okay. This is going to be a good one. I have a feeling. I got a feeling. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lyceum podcast. I'm your host as usual, Riyad Haseeb. As you could probably tell, I have a familiar face on today.
Hello.
Kyra Flame, Kyra Jade, whatever way you want to call it. We had a great episode maybe like 3-4 months ago now.
A long time ago.
A lot has happened since then. But I don't want to take the dance floor away from her too much. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and we'll see where the music goes.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm Kyra Jade, Kyra Flame, whatever you want to call me. I'm a multifaceted creative, but my day job is in digital marketing. Let's just keep it at that.
100%. And it's a Lyceum podcast. No real small talk around here because let's be real, you just want to get straight into whatever the title of the video is. But as you can tell, it's a 16 personalities test. It's a great test. It's free online. I'll leave the link in the bio so you can try it out yourself and let me know in the comment section what personality archetype you get. And basically, it's just a run of questions. It's more psychological questions, sociological questions about your mindset, how you are socially. And it goes from agree, somewhat disagree, neutral, somewhat disagree. You get it. We've all done it at school or at the NHS or whatever. Yeah. So we're gonna go straight into it. You're gonna take turns reading question each. We can start with you, and then we'll see what archetype we get at the end. We can have a good discussion, and So you want to run it up first?
Let's do this.
100%.
Okay. So the first question is, it's you regularly make new friends. Do I just say like?
I say somewhat agree. I definitely make regular
I say
friends.
agree. I always do.
I think you should probably tell the extroverted you coming out.
Okay, extrovert. I won't lie.
But do you is it just any friends or is it a certain category? Is it more networking? Is it more just social friends and what do you deem by friends?
Okay, well, I mean, I have people that are in like my circle, and then I have like friends. Well, I guess people that I associate myself with. But it just depends on the environment. So I've gone to like corporate networking events. I've been to
that makes sense.
Creative networking events. I go to a lot of those.
It's like mutual interests. Then
Absolutely.
you become friends out of that, right?
Absolutely. I think sometimes when you have a bond or you connect with someone, you say, what's your Instagram? And then through that, you kind of create a bond. You see them at other events.
And when you do that, I guess it's a way of being open-minded to what this friendship could go.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
They might not be useful the next year or two, but 5 years, 10 years, you never know what could happen out of that, right?
Yeah, like I'm a very low maintenance friend. I think, if you're like in my circle, I can be, what do you mean?
You're high maintenance.
I don't know. Do you know what? When it comes to my friendships, when it comes to people that I meet, I don't expect too much from them. Like, even from a young age, my birthday, for example, I was never really like, oh my gosh, we have to do this. You have to get me this. I was never like that.
You're grateful for the smaller things.
Yeah.
I would say I'm the same thing as well.
Yeah, and if you can't, then you can't.
And being that way is a great way to make friends. I think like if you're a high maintenance and you have a high standard of what your friends can be, you can lose out on a lot of good potential friends.
Absolutely.
So if you're grateful for the minimum, you can have you're more inclined to maybe find yourself in others, I would say.
Yeah,
Who knows?
100%.
So the second question.
Yes.
You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest.
Ooh.
I'm highly, highly agree.
I would say somewhat agree.
Somewhat agree.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
I mean, I find things interesting. I like to delve deeper. For example, like if I watch a movie or something and I never knew who this person was, I used to... Is it biography or autobiography? Or like a music show or whatever. Yeah. I'm always researching the artist, like their life.
You need the context.
I want to know everything.
I'm the same. I think a lot of people out there who like watch anime or Marvel films, when when the film is watched, they have to go on YouTube and find out the Easter eggs, why the character said this, what this could mean, what the writer meant. But like definitely for me, like I'm definitely a person, my self-education isn't based on what I want to do in life. I just go wherever my passions and interests take me. So right now, I just finished reading a book about the prison system. Oh. Now I'm reading a book about the history of mathematics.
What?
So like, it's just...
Anything that piques your interest.
And hopefully when I'm 35, this accumulates into something,
Absolutely.
So I don't know, I'm building my mental library as I live.
You're gaining knowledge, gaining understanding.
Precisely,
and that's what
and I love doing that. I think it's the key to life, essentially. Yeah. But the next one.
Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. I'm going to say somewhat agree. I am very much an empath. However, I'm getting a bit better at dealing with it, I think. Separating myself from other people's emotions. I really struggled with that for a long time. I
think so.
Yeah, I think...
But that shocks me though, because you're someone who's a highly imaginative person and I feel like the most empathetic people you meet are highly imaginative because they're able to place themselves in your shoes.
That's exactly it.
So, isn't it, in other words, you got better at empathy by placing your imagination in their shoes, essentially?
So I've always done that naturally.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I've always done that, and that's why I've been an empath. But I think sometimes it can affect me like really like a lot and make me want to do more than I need to do for that. It's like overcompensate basically.
Overcompensate,
not unnecessarily, and it takes a lot of me. And they didn't even ask for it, so I'm starting to be a bit more aware about it and try to.
But when you see other people cry in public, would you cry?
Oh no.
No, same.
No, that one's
But
a bit
what
much.
about say a boyfriend or someone you're in love with? If your man cried, would you cry?
Probably, but I don't know. I think maybe I wouldn't cry. I feel like maybe cry. I don't know if cry.
I think
but
it's
I feel strongly about it,
yeah.
but maybe not cry. For me, I am very emotional, and I do cry a lot. But especially that's usually when I can't control my feelings, so it just comes out in tears.
That's a good point. Control your feelings.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But I don't know, crying for somebody else. I'm not sure. I think I would need to be present for that person, and my emotions. Would be their emotions that I'm reflecting rather than like it's more how I feel for them.
You've helped me make my answer. I'm gonna say somewhat disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really cry when other people cry.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to vomit if other people vomit. But crying to me is like if I see someone cry, No, I'm not trying. That's what I'm saying. That's
no, but you're right. Yeah, it's not.
When I see someone cry, I feel like you have to immediately take a position of help. So if I cry with you, it's kind of, and it depends what you're crying about too.
Yeah.
Again, it's a very depending on the situation. So the only situation I can imagine, if say someone had a tragic death in their family they're crying, I could imagine myself, if I was to imagine myself in them shoes, I would exert them same feelings.
Especially if you've seen their relationship and you've kind of, because if you just hear about, like, for example, recently my granddad passed.
Oh, sorry to hear.
Thank you for that. But like my friends, they've never seen me and my granddad. Do you know what I mean? But I know my relationship with my granddad.
They got the context.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need perfectly said. For me, in order for me to cry, if you're crying or someone's crying, I need the context first.
Yeah.
If there's no context, I won't cry. I think that was a nice
answer. Your turn.
Okay, this is a good one. Next one, yeah?
Okay.
You often make a backup plan for a backup plan.
Ooh.
Highly agree again. That is me all around. I don't trust people when they say I'm going to be there. So I'm always thinking like 2 steps ahead. Like, okay, if this falls through, at least I've got this.
Okay.
If this falls through, worst case scenario, I'll just stay at home and just read at home or something. So I'm always making a backup plan for a backup plan. And I think that probably stems from mistrust or not expecting the best from people, essentially. And I'm not sure if that's a bad thing or a good thing. But in the end, the only negative thing I could really, really see from this is that say if I've got a backup plan for a backup plan, I end up wanting to do the backup plan more than the original plan.
Or you don't put 100% into the original plan because your mind is still with the backup plan just in case.
Especially if it gets later into the night, I'm like, oh, that backup plan does sound a little bit better than the real plan. Like stay at home, chill, or go out in the rain, like today, for example.
Yeah, honestly, I hear you.
What would you say?
I think for me, I can just think of an example of like, well, with what you said, it's kind of different. Like I've kind of been someone who's been let down as well a lot. And my coping mechanism is like learning to just not rely on people and be happy with what I'm doing. Like tonight, I'm going out by myself.
As you can tell.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Wow, you look
Thank
fantastic.
you very much. Thank you. I got out by myself, and I told my friend. My friend was like, "Why are you going out by yourself?" Just like, because I don't like to rely on people. If I say I'm going,
but they're going to be the best nights you have, man. Going by yourself,
I've been to concerts by myself. I've been to cinema by myself. Go out for dinner by myself, and it's nice. And I think I become comfortable with doing that. So my backup plan is to be okay with it.
The next one is solo traveling, yeah.
100%. That's the goal.
It's one of the best things I've ever done in my entire life.
Really? Where did you go?
I went Athens, Berlin, Rome, Florence. Then I went Guatemala. Then I went somewhere else, Central America.
Oh wow.
Then I went somewhere else, New York. Yeah. It's the best because I take my journal with me. And by the way, guys, coming very soon is my journal series. So I'm going to do like just me and I'll go through all my journals and just read what I've wrote and it kind of expand on it. So stay in tune for that. But let's move on to the next one, yeah?
Yes.
Your turn.
I usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I would say somewhat disagree.
Why you say that?
I don't like pressure at all. I
really don't like pressure.
What pressure? I remember
Deadlines or...
Yeah, I'm actually good with deadlines. I'm the sort of person that doesn't like pressure so much that as soon as I'm given the task, I get it done. I do not want the pressure.
I miss the last minute.
No,
Honestly,
I hate it. I hate it because that stress, that panic, and then when I've done it, I feel like I've not given it my best, and it's too many emotions that I just do not want to be feeling.
No, you're right. And another thing, what you've said perfectly there is that so many times in my own life, I'll be like, I leave it last minute, and then I do it and I have that feeling of I could have done better. But then I realize after a time, maybe that's just a justification of my laziness, or perhaps I keep it. I know I could have done better, but it's better just to know it instead of proving it. You know? I could have done it if I wanted to, but I just chose not to.
Nah, do you know what?
It's a horrible mentality to have.
I wouldn't say it's horrible. I think I get it. I get the mentality, but I think it's really important. Someone said this to me once before. Everything that you put your name on, it needs to be your best, because I know, because then every time someone sees that thing, they're gonna associate it with you.
It's true. It goes back to the reputation argument. Reputation is, as much as it sounds superficial, your reputation is your literally your keys to everything.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Gold card.
Gold card. That's it. It is. It's your membership card to any room.
Yeah,
if you have a great membership, if you have a great reputation, you're allowed into most rooms.
Yeah. If
you have a bad reputation, obviously you know what the consequences of that is.
Can we go on a little bit of a tangent?
Yeah.
Guys, we both just turned 24. Happy birthday to us. Birthday. The reason why I'm saying this is because I felt like as soon as I turned 24, 25 is just around the corner. I've never been that person. I've always felt young. I always felt fresh. I feel my age. But for some reason with 24, 25 feels like it's creeping. And I'm not sure why. And it feels like 24 is like the last year for me to be wild. For me to be...
That's cap, man.
Do you know what I mean?
I disagree.
I know it's not, but like in my head, it's kind of like... It's about reputation as well. So it's like once I get...
I think you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
I mean, obviously, realistically, I know it's not that deep. Yeah. However, I feel like the type of person that I want to be and the things I want to do in the near future, some of this stuff has to be sacrificed, which I'm cool with. But also, it's also like, for example, some of the things that I do are not necessarily helpful or healthy for who I want to be in the future.
So it sounds like your desires are holding you back, or short-term desires are getting in the way of long-term achievements.
Yeah. Like,
so you got to kind of sacrifice your lower self today for a higher self.
Exactly. Like I don't want to.
Sacrifice is a powerful word, and sacrifice. Oh, but if we have to be blunt about it, you have to sacrifice a bit of youth.
100%. 100%. And I feel like this is the last year that I don't have to sacrifice my youth at all. I feel like, obviously it's not true, I don't have to do anything.
I don't think youth ever dies, you know. I think youth is just transformed. It changes as you get older. But I hate this. I hear it all the time. My older sister especially, if you're watching, I'm atting you. She's 30, in her early 30s now.
We never tell a lady's age.
Yeah, I shot myself.
Yeah, you did well.
So, but she goes, I'm getting old. I'm like, oh my goodness, like...
It's a mentality.
Well, I hear 22-year-olds, 21 getting old. Yeah. I'm like, do you know how young we are? Like, we're babies. And you have to assume I'm 24. If I die at 94, how many years have I got left? 70 years?
Yeah.
Why am I stressing myself?
100%.
So many young, creative, passionate minds are so eager to grow old.
Yeah.
Only to hit 60 and wish that they cared more of their youth. I think youth has two virtues I've learned very, very hard and very happy to have learned it. Is patience. Youth, I think if you get to your adulthood without learning patience from youth, you've missed out your opportunity to learn what patience is, I think. Because in youth, you're highly imaginative, you're highly creative, and you're highly hungry. Not highly hungry, you're very hungry.
Yeah.
That means you're more desperate. And you want it now because you think of this romantic idea. I'm young, I'm beautiful, I'm... let's say the best for words, single or whatever. And I wish I had the material means to put two and two together and live the best life possible.
Yeah.
But that happens for a very select few, you know?
Why can't it be me?
It can be you. But don't get desperate doing it. Yeah. Learn the patience in the meantime, I think. I read something beautiful. Not read something. I watched something, actually, for the
first time ever. I was always reading.
Not reading the book. Yeah. And it said, in your 20s, it's just a time to learn a playbook. Create a playbook, mess up, fail, experience youth. And it goes to that beautiful saying, youth is a gift wasted on the young.
Youth is a gift wasted. Yeah.
It's true. And I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste it.
It's true.
So sometimes I sit there like, I need to fix up. I need to do better in life. I need to post more podcast episodes. I need to edit it. I need to innovate. But I'm like, oh, but I'm young and I want to enjoy myself still. And I know this sounds hedonistic or desirous, but damn, I know how quick life goes. I know I'll be 67 looking at my wife like, oh, my youth was good. Actually, no, so far in my life, I would say I'm absolutely making the most of my youth for sure.
Would you?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. I've got no doubt about that. Because of patience. Patience. Oh, I wish people understood what patience means. And the second virtue is prudence.
Okay.
Now, prudence is one of my favourite virtues. And there's a beautiful painting. I forgot what it's called, but I'm going to put it here. And I saw it in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. And it was there's seven virtues, and they're all painting like metaphorically, allegorically different. And prudence is basically internal reflection. And how she's painted it, she's a woman sitting there with a mirror. In other words, to view external, your hair's messy, how would you adjust it? By looking in the mirror to adjust it. But how do you adjust the internal? Is that you have to create an internal mirror. So prudence is the internal mirror. You have to always reflect your
self-awareness.
Exactly. You always have to be watching yourself. I would argue if every situation you're in, you have to be holding the mirror at all times, you know? So that's another thing I learned in youth. It's not just about living and enjoying, it's living while looking in the mirror at the same time to see what you want to look, your inner self to look like when you're older. So prudence and patience, the two P's are two virtues I've taken away from my youth so far.
Wow.
But there's many more. Many more, and I can't wait to grow. I said this before. I said I can't wait to grow old, but I love being young.
Yeah.
So perfect equilibrium. You're in the middle, like, okay, I don't mind.
I'm not gonna lie, I can wait to grow old. I'm not gonna lie. I can wait. I do not want the wrinkles. I do not want the weakness in my knees. I do not want to be feeling pains in my back.
You sound like Derek Rose, man.
Who's that?
If you know, you know.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but I can assure you that I can wait to be old. But there's certain things in the future that I'm excited for. Like, I'm excited about, genuine love, getting married, potentially having children. I'm not sure if I want to have children yet, potentially. Traveling the world to places that I haven't seen, doing so many things that I haven't had the chance to do yet. But I'm getting closer and I'm ticking the boxes as time goes on.
I can't wait to do it with a wife, though.
That's what so everything will bang more.
Everything will bang more. There's so many guys out there who say this Riz culture. I'm so sick of this Riz culture, yeah? I'm actually tired of it.
Why?
Man. Because it's just to me, it shows nothing. You're good with words. Congratulations. If you applied that same Riz culture, the manipulation of words, to sound good and poetical and change someone's mind into making them like you more. If you apply this energy into real good things, wow, it's much more play off. If you was to put that into poetry, put that into philosophy, put that into writing, put that into a novel. But no, you rather waste it on a girl who's heard the same game 10 different guys ago, I think it's cheap, honestly. And
what do you define as Riz?
Seduction, basically.
So why
it's charm. It's use of charm in order to receive.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is... That's a great question. The alternative, I guess, is... Okay, that's a really good question because it's now stretched the conversation out. I would say the alternative... If you're young, I think it's very important between maybe 16 to early 20s to get it off your chest. Because I did, for sure.
Get it off your chest?
Yeah. Go out, experience life, be single, be great, have fun, learn, get your heart broken. It's better to get your heart broken at 17 than 27, I would say. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. But one thing I disagree with is don't jump relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship because you leave a bit of you everywhere and you get to 27 and you've got nothing left to give. Oof. I've known many people and we know me, I haven't ever been in a long-term relationship yet. Only reason because I kind of want to wait to give it all to someone. I never wanted to drop it like Hansel and Gretel, Yeah. So the alternative is, I would say, if you're a guy out there, and you have a great girlfriend, she's loving, she's strong, she supports you, but the only thing that's stopping you from immersing yourself properly is that you have wandering eyes, bro, just wife her, bro. Like, honestly. Like, someone said
don't wife her if you have wandering eyes. If you have wandering eyes, secure them wandering eyes first. Wandering eyes is dangerous. Then I would say secure the relationship.
I would say I was guilty of wandering eyes for sure. Like, when I'm with a girl, why did every girl look better than the one I was with? That's what it felt like for me for a long time, honestly. Because
What do you
I think
that
it's
was? What was the reason?
I don't know, man. I can justify it in 2-3 different ways. I could say it's a conqueror's mindset. I want her. I want to leave my bit there, leave my bit there. The second idea is probably like everything looks better that's not yours. Essentially, if you look at someone's
Grass is
outfit,
greener.
yeah, the grass is green on the other side. The other perspective probably is, I don't know. Yeah, I think it is just I'm always trying to one up what I've got now. This is, you see how dangerous this mentality is of risk culture. You have one girl and you want the next one. And the question is, when does it stop? And that's when it hit me. I was like 21, I was like 22. I'm like, when is this going to stop? You know, like when is there an end point? And I realized I've been doing this since 17, 18, 19, 21, 22. And then when you chat to a girl, I don't know if I like her or not because I'm so used to rizzing all these girls and pretending I like them. I forgot what really liking someone is.
Wow,
You know what I'm trying to say? You actually forget because you could be with a girl, she's fantastic for you, yeah? But because you're so used to pretending to like girls more than that you actually do, when you're with one you really like, you don't know if you really like her or not, if you're still pretending. That's how you can get confused. I realised that when I stopped talking to a girl and I move on, I'm like, oh, I want her back. But then I realised, oh God, I did like her the whole time. But then I met one girl and she changed everything because I fell in love for sure. But that's a conversation for another time. On to the next one.
Do I know the person?
No, you don't.
Okay.
And she knows if I don't sure be watching. But yeah, she'll be my wife one day.
She'll be one day?
Absolutely. This video right now we playing at the wedding.
Hey, I want to be in the video.
Let's go. Next question.
Yes, is that your turn or
That was
my
a
turn?
tangent and a half.
Yeah, but it was an interesting conversation.
Okay. So usually stay calm under pressure. To me, depends on the pressure, man.
Somewhat disagree.
I put neutral. Because there's some pressure I could be really good under and some I'm not really good under. But I think that's a symptom of youth. I lack experience in battle. I haven't got enough scars yet.
Maybe I'll do the one before that then. What's the one before? So there's disagree, somewhat disagree. What is there? Less than somewhat.
So less than somewhat,
Let's just
It
pretend.
is less than somewhat.
Okay, well.
At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Disagree. Next.
High five. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another.
Agree. Oh my God, yeah.
I would have disagree. I thought we were going to bond on that.
No, agree.
No, I wish I had that superpower, but I just don't.
I'll finish this, but my eye is literally thinking about the one over there.
That's amazing.
I get rid of this one quick so I can go on to the next one. But this is bad.
Yeah, you need
because
to,
I don't give it enough care. As you want to tell some of this podcast, I should have had an intro and outro video done by now. But man, it's not easy doing this shit by yourself, bro. I'm telling you, it's so long doing it.
I've started it. That was my last episode.
Boy, I wish you
always
understood how long this content creating thing is sometimes.
It's long.
But it's worth it. Give me 2 years. Next question.
Anyway, I did somewhat less than disagree.
You are very sentimental.
Yeah.
Highly agree.
Absolutely.
That's said by itself.
Yeah.
Why are you sentimental though?
I think because I value sentiment for myself, so I'd want to do the same for other
people. It is a good way of bringing the past to the future. Because I think Snapchat memories could be sentimental.
Yeah. I love
it's
Snapchat
about,
memories.
I think sentimental is about preserving the past. Kind of like a museum of your own life.
Yeah.
When you go to a museum, you see ancient Greek, ancient Rome. But when you go to your bedroom, I like when people come over and I'm like, oh, I got this from when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
This is my first shoot when I was 2.
Yeah. I had like a ring that I had in Zanzibar.
It's proof of your existence.
It is.
It's proof of a life before meeting you.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
Next one.
You like to use organising tools like schedules and lists. Agree.
Neutral.
What?
Sometimes it works. Sometimes I'll stick to a schedule for like 2 days and I start winging it off my head again.
It depends.
One thing I say I absolutely do is lack some discipline in areas. Because why? It relates to that point we said earlier. I like to finish it last minute. Not I like to. I'm a slave to it, essentially. I hate that I'm a slave to it. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge.
Somewhat disagree. I'm not going to lie.
No.
Less than somewhat disagree.
Disagree at all. Because I think I love when that happens. It means I need to get better. Is an example, is a sign. If a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall... Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall
abilities and knowledge. I think...
Yes, agree. Yeah, it can.
Yeah, agree.
Sure.
I mean, less than somewhat agree. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just proof I need to step up. But I think what's most important about this situation is how you perceive that mistake.
Yeah, and you can't beat yourself up over it. I beat myself up so many times unnecessarily.
I beat myself up on things when I know I should have done it. Yeah. And I didn't do it.
But that's a mistake that you made.
Lack of action is what I beat myself up most of.
Okay.
So that quote I said on like my first ever podcast, I bear all the wounds from the battles I avoided. So,
But sorry to interrupt you. Lack of action doesn't affect. That's something that.
but that
means
can
you
be
know.
a small mistake.
No, it is. That's not what I'm disagreeing
Yeah.
with. That's a small mistake. But it says makes you doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. But if you lack your action, that means you know that you're capable of acting a certain way. So you're not going to lack your knowledge.
But I don't know because I didn't put it into action. I know it in imagination, but I don't know it by hand.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation.
Neutral.
Somewhat agree.
Neutral.
I'm pretty
I don't know.
confident.
I
but
have to know if you want me to come talk to
Really?
you.
I feel like a lot of guys have that. I was having a conversation like that with my friend recently.
For sure.
Like, apparently guys kind of feel like they have to impress. Obviously, I get it. Obviously, you have to impress us, but like, they feel like if they don't feel like there's someone that they can say, then
No,
they
but
won't
it's
even
different
approach.
nowadays. I can speak from a guy's perspective in the sense that, say there's a girl and she's looking at you. Nowadays, you know about this whole feminist movement, respect a girl's space. Guys are very aware of these things now.
Good.
Contrary to belief, girls think that we're not aware of this. We're very aware of it. But it's caused us to overthink it now. We're like, if I go over there, she's going to think I'm a creep. She's going to think I'm a weirdo.
Okay, yeah.
Am I interrupting her space? Because you don't want to go over there. And girls are getting ruder now. They'll just do this.
Really?
Oh, go away. Oh, no, not interested. And
To you,
again,
have someone
no,
else?
that's never happened to me.
I was going to say.
It's never happened to me. But I've seen it happen many times.
Oh, good.
And it's just weird because I don't know if a girl wants to. She wants me to talk to her. Shall I talk to her? Shall I not? If she could be staring at me and I'll go over to talk to her. It's happened before. A girl be looking at me staring.
Yeah.
Go over to her. She goes, no. I'm thinking, you've been looking at me for the last 5 minutes.
No.
She goes, oh, not interested. I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to see she's still it. Which
But
is not very
I don't
nice.
really approach
but
girls
could be
too
right.
much.
Fair enough. We'll talk about this later anyway.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Okay.
You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works.
I disagree highly.
Disagree, yeah.
Yeah, I love discussing and analysing creative
Yeah,
works.
me
And my
too.
lecturer said the best ever example to me ever about what interpretation is. Have you ever seen a picture of like a duck and a rabbit at the same time?
No.
If you look at it once, it looks like a duck, but if you look at it for a bit longer, it could look like a rabbit at the same time.
Yeah.
Is that those pictures that, or say it's like it'd be like a picture of a tree, but it could be a face in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that all pieces of art have this element going to it. It looks like one thing, but if you look at it again, you see another image within an image.
I would disagree about all forms of art. Because
Okay,
you can
not
have
all. Okay,
hyperrealism, but
yeah.
I
That was
get
a
what
very
you
generalized comment.
mean. Yeah.
But next,
Your turn.
you are more inclined to follow your head than your heart.
Disagree.
So you follow your head,
My heart all the time.
heart. So you're passion over rationality. I will say, but this causes analysis paralysis for me because the head argument could be so strong and the heart argument is such a strong, and it causes me to, in the last second, make a decision. I'm starting to learn a trend
the
here. I'm a
Libra
very
in us.
last minute person. I'm starting to.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's the Libra in us. We're indecisive because we
you're
are
Libra as
balanced.
well.
I'm October 11th, you're October 6th.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing.
Well, anyway, yeah, I feel as though
Neutral.
a lot of the time I act over my emotions or over what my heart is telling me. I try to be more logical, but it's just really hard for me. I'm very conscious. When I'm
Nah, I
logical,
follow my head.
I'm conscious about it. I think men tend to be more logical. Women tend to be
Somewhat
more
agree.
emotional. What's the word? Majority, not all.
But I think there's some aspects in your life that need your heart, and but that's what wisdom is a balance. So you got your mind here and your heart here. And Aristotle's golden mean is you got to find the mean between the two. If you're too much using your head, you're out of balance. If you're using your heart too much, you're out of balance.
I know, yeah.
And the thing that brings it, like this, is wisdom itself. So you have to choose when to use your head, choose when to use your heart.
Discernment.
So in love and relationships, I'm more inclined to use my heart.
I was gonna
But
say.
if it's about health and protecting myself, I'll use my head.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I would say somewhat agree, neutral.
I would say somewhat disagree.
Neutral.
Not fully
Depends.
disagree, but somewhat. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. Oh, I'm going to say neutral. Sometimes.
Neutral. Depends.
Yeah.
Enough said. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Damn. Now, if you worry about making a good impression on other people, it means you're worrying about the outcome of the situation too much. you're in the moment, you're always thinking about the ending at the same time. It's like when you watch a film, you're always wondering how the ending is going to go and say, will this film be worth watching? Is it going to leave a good impression on me? Because so far, it's not going to leaving any impression on me. Hopefully, by the end of it, I get something to take away from it. So, and there is some situations, I guess, in a networking environment, a business environment, you always have to be conscious of the impression you're giving on someone. But if it's a friendship or a friendly circle where you can lay back, I think you need to let go of the impression you're giving and just be you. But then again, if you want to give a good impression, I think you have to lack confidence in your own character, where you have to act a little bit. You get what I'm saying? There's so many ways this question can go, you know. What's your sense on that? I
would say somewhat disagree. I'm someone who does overthink things, and I'm someone who does. I'm like very conscious. I'm a presenter / host as well. So I'm worried about whether the audience are going to feel engaged, they're going to feel the vibe. It's really important in my job to do that. Precisely. So I am conscious of it, and it does, like, obviously it's also kind of my bag as well. So if I don't do it well, then it's like, that makes sense. But then at the same time, I'm someone who has I'm learning how to overcome these things. Like I'm learning how to overcome overthinking things. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. You only live once. Like, why am I going to beat myself up over something? Nobody's perfect. And I try my best. And a lot of people probably did have fun. It's not even like, even if that situation happened.
But I do get surprised when I don't leave a good impression on people. You know what I'm trying to say?
Me too. Majority of the time.
Because I know I'm not a bad person.
Yeah.
But I know I can be a bit intense sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're not for everybody. We're not everybody's cup of tea.
Precisely.
That's just
perfectly
what it
said.
is.
But one other idea I got about this question is that I think if you're going to chat to a girl or you're going to seduce someone, essentially, you always have to be thinking about the impression you're giving on someone. I think if you're a guy and you're chatting to a woman and you're trying to, say, seduce her or win her, get into her good books, you're always keeping that back of your mind, the good impression. If she deflects what you say, you have to give a better thing to say back, you know? It's a game of tennis that I can imagine that in that sense. Not imagine it. It's facts. That's what you do.
Well, I don't know, because for me personally, my biggest turn off is a guy trying to be something that they're not. If I can detect that you're doing too much to try and impress me.
As a girl, do you sense that quick? And what is the factors you can pick? Where can you pick that up? Is it when he flaunts material? Is it when he's boasting or?
It really just depends. Sometimes people boast or guys boast. Sometimes it's like, it's just, I can feel it. I'm someone who's quite in touch with the energy. And I think if it's not genuine energy, intuition. If I can feel that the energy is off, like I can do that quite quickly. I'm just not interested. Like I'll get really put off. But then also I'm the sort of person who's like, maybe I should hear them out. And then I'm like, no, I knew that I didn't like them.
You try to see the best in people sometimes?
I do that too much.
No, I do that
That's
a lot
something
too.
that I'm working on.
I do that a lot as well.
And that's, for me, that means like, it's not that I have standards, but because of my like wanting to see the best in people, I give people like the chance to kind of...
But do you try to see the best in yourself too?
Reword that, because I can't see it like that.
If you always look for the best in other people, when you're analysing yourself, are you looking for the worst in you or the best in you in self-reflective moments?
Oh, that's difficult. Yeah. Because, that's difficult. Probably the worst in me. But that's just because I want to make myself better.
Fine-tune.
Yeah.
I get it. I hear that.
I want to develop it.
I think both, I would say.
Do I look at the positives? I mean, I do.
But I feel like, but I think there's danger looking at the positives too much because you turn narcissistic, I think. You think you're perfect.
I've never thought I'm perfect.
No. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying...
No, I'm just saying...
That's the extreme path it could lead to. Because, for example, you see a lot of these female poetry pages. I follow them just to see the poetry going on nowadays. And all it is... You are perfect. You're yourself. You're amazing. There's nothing wrong with you. You're amazing the way you are. You are your biggest fan. You are your own god, essentially, you know? And I'm thinking, this is going to lead to some narcissism, because if you assume you're perfect from the beginning and everything that you follow on Instagram is reinforcing this sense of this idea of your perfection, it leads to dangers. Because now if you look at male motivational pages, they're very different. It's about getting up, hustling, working hard. And even there's a lot of stoic pages. And it is a really good way to see what flaunts women. So what inspires confidence in women is compliments. And what inspires confidence in men is, I see the word, but the word is failing me.
Results?
It's not results. That's why she's here, man.
I was gonna say on that point that those are affirmations. I wouldn't say it's
Affirmations,
poetry.
yeah, that's exactly
affirmations.
what it is.
I think you have to be careful with it. I like to recite affirmations. I'm not very consistent with it, I'll be honest. But I do like to do it, and like I love myself. I do, but sometimes I need to hear myself say it. I need to look at myself in the mirror and say I love myself. I need to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself that I'm beautiful. I need to look at myself in the mirror and tell myself that I'm strong. It's not maybe it's a compliment thing. I'm not sure, but I think it's also like, the person that can tell me it and it actually making an impact the most is me. So I need to be comfortable. Like, guys can tell me that I'm beautiful, but if I don't believe it, what's the point? So it's like, it's my self-esteem.
But if anyone said you're ugly, how would you perceive that? Honestly.
They're a hater. No, joking. I mean, it's just
They're a hater.
I mean, I know I'm not ugly. I mean, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not everyone's type. But I know I'm not an ugly person.
But
Maybe
what if,
let
me just throw a situation out there. What if a woman out there, because I saw one on Instagram over there, and she was like, I'm beautiful, I know I'm stunning, I know I'm this. And I read the comments and it's just bare guys saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, okay, if 10,000 people are agreeing in the comment section that you're not beautiful, is there any grain of truth to what they're saying? I've got no opinion. I'm just proposing the hypothetical.
I would say not if you believe you're beautiful. That's why affirmations are important.
Subjectiveness of it, essentially. Yeah, that's fair.
I think that's why affirmations are important, because no matter what anybody tells you, you need to believe in your source. If you don't believe in your source, you're gonna fail at a lot of things. You know, I'm still trying to believe in my source in certain things as well, like with my music, for example. And it's like, people tell me this sometimes. For example, when I had my first gig, which is November last year, I haven't done a gig since because I'm flipping scared, because I was so nervous. And everyone was like, Kyra, when's the music coming out? When is your next gig? And I'm like, I don't know.
And you almost think the love they're giving you is fake.
Listen, so I had my performance, right? And like feeling, my voice was shaking, the vocals were, and the thing is, I know my potential. So when my delivery wasn't what I wanted, didn't it? Yeah. So everyone was like, Kyra, you're natural the way you're on stage, which is why I pursued hosting and presenting, because I do enjoy being on stage. I don't enjoy singing on stage.
Yeah, you definitely have in knowing you for a while, you definitely have an explosion of personality. You are you're explosive.
Explosive? I don't know if I like that, actually.
No, it is nice, but you're exploding colour. You know?
Oh, I really like that, actually. Yeah, I do like to describe myself as a colourful person. But what I was trying to say is that when I was on stage, I hated it. I just wanted to get off. I didn't like how, because for me, it's a whole.
Could you ever see yourself enjoying that?
We're gonna see.
We'll see.
I enjoy presenting. I enjoy being on stage. I enjoy engaging. True. I enjoy engaging with an audience. Hopefully, with the confidence of that, the confidence of performing will come. But the reason why I was saying that is because when I got off that stage, I was like, Kyra, you killed it. Kyra, you smashed it. I was thinking, huh? No, I did not. Because I know how good
the standards you hold yourself to are different to what people hold.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to not trust the people that are holding your standards to. Because there'll be some things that I wrote like a year ago and I'm like, that's dead, man. But someone read it and I'm like, oh, that's so good. And I'm like, you're capping, man. Shut up.
With that, though, sorry, I know we're going to move on in a second. But with that, I feel that as well, sometimes what we deliver might not be our best work, but it might be exactly what that person needed at that time.
Yeah, there's no such thing as perfect timing, right? Divine timing.
I think it could be perfect timing, but I think perfect timing for somebody. It might not be perfect timing for you right now.
Yeah, that's what I say. Perfect time is never late or early.
It's always on time.
It's always on time.
Yeah.
But flipping out.
Yeah, let's go on. Sorry, I'm just... it's interesting conversation.
Yeah, no. But there's more to be spoken about.
So what was going to say, you really worry about whether you're making a good impression. I was going to say disagree.
You enjoy participating in group activities. Agree.
You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending.
Disagree.
I disagree as well.
I don't like it.
Me neither.
I'm
too predictable. I like plot twists.
No. Oh, no, it's saying that it leaves it open to how you see the film. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Open to your own interpretation. Like, so there's no right answer to the end of the film. The book is up to you.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I love those.
See, I kind of disagree. I love it much more when the artist or the director or the writer has a strong message to give. Because once you get that message, you don't forget that message. Ooh. And when it's open to interpretation, I think it's kind of lazy in a way, because it shows you didn't really go in with a message. You went in with a good idea, but you're going to leave it for everyone else to finish the writing for you.
I don't
finish
see it that
the film
way.
for you. That is just how I see it. Personally.
I see it, for example, I think that's a cool way to see it. I think for myself, though, it's like you take it for your own interpretation for yourself. So, like, for example, like with religion, for example, the Bible, scripture, you take that how it applies to you in your life.
Yeah, but the ending isn't open to interpretation, essentially. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there is a beginning and a definite end, and there is a canonical story going on. And I guess the wisdom in it could be open to interpretation. But like some of those films or songs are like, oh, it makes me but I guess it just goes to me. I can't speak for everyone. Just me personally, I like it when I know the writer or the artist has a message to give me.
Actually, you're
especially
right.
paintings, because a lot of paintings nowadays are just a random bunch of everything and take what you want from it. To me, it's lazy. Because if you look at the old paintings from the past, the golden era, you might ask, what is the golden era? I don't know. But I think if you're an art fan, you'd understand what the golden era is. Before this contemporary rubbish, yeah? So not in theatre, I'm talking in art, like paintings and stuff. It used to come with a strong message, you know? These are the virtues we're signalling. This is what the writer wanted you to take from it. But this is what the painter wanted you to feel. Yeah. It didn't want you to feel that, it wanted you to feel this. Yes. And if you are feeling that, you've got my message wrong. And it shows the artist the artist is dominant. And I think when you leave it to open interpretation, it's much more submissive. Like, you can imprint what you... I don't know where I'm going with this, but I hope someone out there can understand where I might be coming from for this. I'm not really good at articulating it just yet.
Okay, so I'm saying it from like a music perspective. If I write a song, I want people to be able to put themselves in the shoe of the experience that I've experienced. I'm trying to portray in the song. Yes. Even if it's something that I haven't portrayed, even if it's something that I haven't experienced, the story that I'm telling in this song, I want you to feel it exactly how I see it.
Because you're an artist with a strong message. Yeah. But I think if you're an artist that goes, I'm going to go la-di-da-di-da, and you can take what you want from that. What?
Yeah, and this is gospel. See, the thing is, I feel like when it comes to spirituality, it's different. Ooh. But when it comes to, like, I don't know, experience, I think, I agree.
But, you know, it'd be nice to see what the comment section says about this, because I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not the bearer of truth. I'm just a contemplative person.
Yeah, I'm going to put neutral for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to put somewhat disagree.
Okay, you go ahead.
Because stuff like Shutter Island is good, because you get to, like, that film Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio. It goes. I feel like I watched it. Films like that. Like, did the convict escape? Did he not? Did he die? Did he this? That's good.
I don't remember.
But then again, I think a lot of movies nowadays leave it open to interpretation because they know it. In other words, it leaves it open to a sequel to happen.
Yeah,
cash grab.
Yeah.
Films won't give you a definite ending anymore because. Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe I should use that in music. It's a good tactic.
Yeah, think about Shakespeare. Someone read Macbeth and said, this is a play that's, I don't know what I took from Macbeth. It's a love story. And then someone will go, well, it's what I've taken. I'm right. It's my subjective truth. You still say, no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
He did not intend Macbeth to be a love story. Yeah, and if you took it as a love story, you've misinterpreted the artwork. Yeah. It doesn't matter if that's your subjective truth. Your subjective truth is wrong. This is another thing people think. Subjective truths are all applicable and accepted. It's not, because there is something called right and wrong. Yeah. If everything was a subjective truth, then where does right and wrong come from?
Murder.
Oh, I subjectively think murder is not bad.
Yeah. If someone
it means we're losing standards in society. We're losing virtues. We're losing tradition. If everything's a subjective truth, art is dead.
You're right.
Next question.
Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments.
Neutral.
About
giving and receiving.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what she said. You were interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what you want to try next.
Oh, that is the story of my life. Well, you don't need to get into that.
Yes, from definitely highly agree for the last 1-2 years, but now I've definitely it's gonna sound so like arrogant, but I've built myself a curriculum now.
That's arrogant.
Like I have like a bar graph in my Word document. Wow. I've wrote like, okay, from September to November, I'm going to read only this subject.
Wow.
From December to February, I'm only going to read these subjects. And it gives me a structure of what to learn and read. And I'm trying to average a book a week now. And people go, oh, that's madness. Well, think about people before the technological revolution, before iPhones, iPads, computers. What would they have done all day? Read. Some of these intellectual people you see in history, like Nietzsche and Karl Marx and all these guys, these guys weren't reading a book a month. These guys were reading like constantly, non-stop. So I'm thinking, if that's what humans are able to do in the past with their mind and reading books, I can do it too. And unfortunately, you're such an enemy, man. Because let's not get into it.
We're using it right now.
Okay.
But also, did you know that like when books were kind of like first introduced, like they thought that they were horrible, like they were forbidden and stuff in households. They're allowing your mind to escape and really.
The imagination is the most powerful weapon on earth, and all discipline and punishment in society is to reduce your imagination. If you're a criminal criminal with high imagination. The trick is to reduce your imagination. Anyway, I don't know where I got that from. I've been reading Foucault a lot lately. You are interested in so many things. Oh, I put neutral now. You are prone to worrying about things that will take a turn for the worse. Damn, agree. I think it's always good to think of the extreme worst case scenario and reverse engineer how you cannot get to that point. Because everyone end of the day can agree. Worst case scenario is something we should avoid at all times.
Okay, cool. So
you should always think about it.
In a relationship or if you're dating someone, for example.
Oh, okay, now that's
what
different.
do you do? Because for me, I've been guilty of like, oh no, I can't trust this person because they've done this thing before. And the likelihood is that they're going to do this to me. And then therefore, I do not want to pursue it. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, sometimes it's like, that's not helpful because sometimes you need to give people a chance.
That's true.
Sometimes you need to allow, like, you have to feel it out as well. Sometimes you have to learn lessons. Sometimes you just have to just experience it. You can't protect yourself.
But I think in love, I don't think you should think like this. I think if you were truly, truly in love, you don't think about that worst case scenario.
No, but like early stages of a relationship or early stages of...
I don't get into a relationship if I'm in love with you.
Okay, what I mean is...
So I'm giving you the annoying answers, but I
it's
mean
fine.
it.
If you saw someone that you were attracted to and you wanted to approach them, you wanted to see what... Or like a mutual friend, for example, and they had there was so many good things about them that you heard about them, but there was something...
If I'm attracted to someone, I'm attracted to them because of lust first. Lust precedes love, I say.
Yeah.
You think
it precedes love?
It precedes love. I think love is born out of controlled lust. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to think about that.
Because if you see someone attractive, what attracts you to them? It's not their soul. You haven't seen their soul yet. The lust is what gets you through the front door, and love is what makes itself home, I would say.
Ooh.
Love is where the home is at.
That's romantic.
Next one. Shut up, man.
Oh.
You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Disagree.
We're the same person.
Honcho. You are definitely not an artistic type of person. Disagree.
Come on,
you
now.
think the world would be a better place if people relied more on their rationality and less on their feet? What a question.
I disagree with that. I think
highly disagree.
Yeah,
the world will not be a better place because no one knows what the better place of the world would be yet.
I put somewhat disagree.
I think we spoke about this already.
Yeah, balance. Maybe we should say in the middle. Maybe we should say
neutral. Yeah, I completely agree.
You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Agree. Then again, today, like the reason why I was kind of late, I took a nap.
Yeah, I would say agree.
No, but I cleaned before I napped. I agree.
I said to myself, before I clean the dishes, I'm going to play a little bit of FIFA, yeah? Career mode,
That's terrible. I'm the other way. I said, for me to enjoy FIFA properly, I have to wash dishes. Because it's going to be back of my head. I can't.
I say neutral. Depends how lazy I'm feeling.
You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself.
Disagree.
Look at us.
Got a podcast. Your mood can change very quickly. Neutral. Depends.
Neutral, yeah.
You lose patience when people are not as efficient as you.
Somewhat agree.
I highly agree. Except students.
Come on, be fast, be quick, be sharp.
You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Agree.
Disagree.
You have always been fascinated by the question of what if anything happens after death. Disagree.
You did philosophy. What are you talking about?
No, but I don't ever think about what happens after death. I only think about if my name carries on being lived.
Really? You don't think about future?
So the only way only way I see Judgment Day is this, is that Judgment Day is an idea that I only started to think of when I went to the Sistine Chapel in Rome, where the Adam and God are touching. But at the very end of the wall, there's a huge fresco by Michelangelo, and it's Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And I'll put the image here to explain it. And I was sit there in the Sistine Chapel, I had my journal, I was looking, I was like, why have I never thought about Judgment Day before, And the only way I can see Judgment Day is this, I think Judgment Day, in my perspective so far, is that when you die, I kind of think people get to decide if you get to go to heaven or hell. I think hell is once you die, your name is forgotten. And I think heaven is when you die, and your name is remembered forever, for good things, essentially. So I think Judgment Day is your day of death, and the people, society, the collective consciousness get to decide if you live on.
Why would anyone would choose not to live
Because, well, some people just don't do things that are memorable. They're just like, as Dostoevsky said, they're only here to populate the earth and move on.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, it's a deep idea. Some people, I guess, are just never cared about that stuff. But I don't know, it's a very multifaceted conversation. But people might say, but Hitler's remembered forever. Does it mean he's in heaven? No, but he's an example of evil. So I think he's in hell, but he's an example of if you act like him, you go here.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a very...
We'll talk about this properly another
Yeah, this is
time.
another episode. We're going to do another one.
Yeah. All right, next.
So no.
You usually prefer to be around others rather than your own.
Neutral.
I would say somewhat agree. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. That you disagree. What? You do not like theoretical conversations? I feel like that's you.
Yeah, I agree. Disagree.
I would say somewhat, less than somewhat disagree. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. Agree.
Agree, yeah.
Really, you too?
Yeah, less than somewhat agree.
You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible.
Neutral for that
Neutral
one.
as well. Depends on what it is. You rarely second guess the choice that you made. Disagree. Or I'd say somewhat disagree.
Somewhat agree.
Really, you're very firm. I wish.
Analysis paralysis.
I wish. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Agree.
Somewhat agree.
I love a lively social. Well, actually, somewhat agree as well.
I think that's just my youth speaking.
Sometimes I like to chill.
Next one. You enjoy going to art museums.
Agree.
You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings.
Disagree.
Neutral. Because some people are just babies for the sake of babies, man. Sometimes I'm like, are you really upset over this? Like, get a grip.
That's what people thought about me and B.
No. You have to do you like to have a to-do list for each day.
Less than somewhat disagree.
Disagree. You rarely feel insecure. Neutral. You avoid making phone calls. Disagree. I love phone calls.
Depends.
You often spend a lot of time trying to understand your views that are very different from your own.
Oh yeah.
Neutral. I don't even know what my views are yet. I'm kind of forming it. So
but you know what your values are?
Yeah.
So then I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, I know my values are in knowing what I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say less than somewhat agree for me.
Yeah. In your social circle, you're often the one who contacts your friends and absolutely agree.
Cheers. Somewhat agree.
I'm always that one. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Highly agree.
I'll say somewhat agree.
You are still bothered by mistakes you made a long time ago. Somewhat agree. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence. I mean, I highly disagree.
Somewhat disagree.
Well, you're religious now.
I'm not religious.
Fairs.
I'm spiritual.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. Because people like to think spiritual isn't religious. But anyway.
I don't think it is.
I think it's completely the same thing.
I think spirituality is
let's
up
not start
to
this
your...
conversation now.
Oh, okay.
Next episode.
I got shut up. Okay.
Next episode.
Yeah. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Ooh, somewhat agree. Somewhat agree. But I'm not like an angry person. I'm an emotional person, like in terms of...
Yeah, I'm not angry.
If I'm feeling strongly, positively, like a lot of love for something, I'm going to act on it. If I feel really sad about something, I'm probably going to act on it. You take good care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. Oh, somewhat agree.
Yeah, so agree, bro.
Don't like people to look bad.
I like people to learn what they've done, not feel horrible for what they've done. For sure.
Sometimes they have to feel horrible to
and
learn.
again, it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
And if you apply some wisdom, you might know.
Yeah. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Neutral.
Agree.
When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. Somewhat agree.
You will love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. Disagree.
Disagree.
You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. It can be a waste of time. Okay. Because sometimes you got to get shit done. And it's rich for someone like me saying that. I feel like sometimes you could the problem is the only thing that I've kind of seen that's bad from philosophy and my adventure so far through that world and abstract subjects is that your mind could just stay in the clouds. And you're detached from realistic stuff. Because try explaining, say you're not doing something. And philosophy makes you a bit too perspective wide, where you can justify anything in your life using that's philosophy. The thing. And
it can lead to you being lost.
So one thing I've learned about philosophy is not about studying what Albert Camus says, what Nietzsche says, what Plato says. Some people out there know exactly what every philosopher says, what they meant every book. You're wasting your time. It's about finding what they say in other things. In other words, finding philosophy in the world is the key to philosophy.
Ooh.
You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling... Yeah, agree. Oh, let me finish the question for you. Oh, no, I put the screenshot up there anyway.
Okay, somewhat agree.
Completely agree. I like writing in public way more than in the quiet. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. Neutral. Some people are really easy to read. Some people are really hard to read.
Somewhat. I'm gonna say less than somewhat agree because I can feel that, I can see that, I can sense that a lot of the time.
Nah, resting bitch faces. We're used to it as men. We have to deal with a lot of resting bitch faces.
Fair enough.
Next,
You feel
we're almost there. 90% of the way.
Less than somewhat agree. I do feel overwhelmed quite a bit.
Where's this? You often feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I somewhat agree, for sure.
Actually, I'm going to say somewhat
But this
as well.
is actually quite contradictory. It says you feel overwhelmed and I don't make plans and schedules. So I maybe just discovered why I feel overwhelmed.
I make plans and I still feel overwhelmed. Sometimes when I make my plan, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all of this to do.
Yeah, that's why I don't like plans.
Maybe this should be agree.
Yeah.
You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Oh, somewhat disagree.
Disagree. Somewhat disagree.
Less than somewhat disagree.
Somewhat disagree.
You're very intrigued by things labelled as controversial. Ooh.
Disagree. And you can tell by my podcast, have I ever discussed the controversial subjects here? I'm not intrigued by them. Because that's of today. What can I add? Like, for example, like the LGBT community arguments, and you've got war arguments, politic arguments. And I just know, what can I really add to that argument right now in the world? You got bigger fishes than me doing that.
See, I disagree with you because controversial means that there's like two sides to it that are difficult to... Because I think, you're saying it as if like it's just today's things, but we have conversations that are controversial all the time. Like
that's true. That's true. Religion does count.
I think you're talking
I'm
about
not very intrigued by it though. I like to think about what's happening in the future. What could be... Prevention is always better than a cure. And there's way better doctors in society in dealing with what needs to be cured today. I'm trying to think what could be prevented in the future.
Okay, cool.
You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else... Yeah, absolutely. If you would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Absolutely.
Sorry, you would pass along a good opportunity for someone...
Yeah, I agree. I would.
Less than somewhat agree.
I agree.
It depends. Sometimes you have to hustle. Sometimes you have to get your bag.
Sometimes, you're right. But I would give up if I know they won't waste that opportunity in it.
Okay, and if I care about them as well.
Almost
if
there.
I don't know them, then I don't really know anything.
Last two questions.
All right, cool. You struggle with deadlines. Disagree. I'll say less than somewhat disagree.
Somewhat agree.
No, I'm sorry. You feel confident that things will work out for you.
Absolutely agree. They will work out. I have no doubt about that. The present moment could be so boring. It could be so difficult, the present moment. It feels like results never produce. It feels like time is moving so slow but so quick at the same time. It feels like success is always like blue balling me, essentially. It's like, oh. I feel like a donkey chasing a carrot, essentially. But I'm telling you, I'm going to get that carrot one day.
Hey!
See results.
I'm a protagonist. What even does that mean? Protagonists are inspiring.
I'm a debater.
You are a debater.
But I've got protagonists before, though.
Well...
Debaters are curious and flexible thinkers who cannot resist an intellectual challenge.
That is you! That is you. Every time I see you, we always have some sort of intellectual conversation or battle or something.
Yeah, but I don't like debating. Debating to me is an example of there's a winner and there's a loser. But then there is right and wrong. I'm debating myself.
There's also perspective. Yeah, literally.
Shut up, man. Okay, what did you get?
I'm a protagonist. Protagonists are inspiring optimists, readily taking action to do what they feel is right. That is me.
Oh my God, I know someone like that. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Any final words?
No, but open your heart. Open your heart to feel things and understand people.
Oh shit, I didn't expect...
And watch my podcast, Flame to Fame.
You always have to plug it in.
And follow me on Instagram, Kyra Flame. Kyra Flame on all platforms.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and comment and stuff like that. But we're going to do a part 2. I think there's more quizzes out there.
Yeah.
We'll try. And let me know in the comments if there's any other quizzes that we should try. I think these are cool to diversify. But yeah, thank you for listening. And this is the Lyceum Podcast. And thank you.